My name is Ben Gillis with Plus Consulting, and welcome to our webinar today. We appreciate your time, and we'll get started right here promptly at the top of the hour. Our purpose for this demonstration today is to really discuss how Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Office 365 work better together. So, there's a lot of integrations that tie between the two systems, and we're going to walk through a couple scenarios that allow us to see this in action. And they're going to allow us to see, using CRM in a way that takes advantage of a lot of the Microsoft products that exist. It's really one of the big competitive advantages that Microsoft brings to the market is the fact that they have Excel, they have this thing called Power BI, they have OneNote, they have Word, and you can really, really natively out of the box standard, all of these applications are tied together. So, before we get started, a few housekeeping items. With webinars such as this, there's more than a handful of people present, so we don't allow you to talk, unfortunately. So what we're doing for questions is that we're using the features of GoToMeeting, the chat functionality. So if you have a question, if there's something that pops into your mind that you're like, I don't know about that, please use the chat window. We do have experts available to answer those questions, to get you a response. In the event that we don't have time, we probably won't stop at each section and go through questions, just we only have an hour together. So what we'll probably do with those questions is reply to you in an email following this section. So feel free to ask questions, and we'll definitely publish out there for you to see the answers to those questions. A little, commercial here about myself and about Plus Consulting. As I said, my name's Ben Gillis. I am a senior consultant with Plus Consulting. My role at the organization is to provide the vision for how CRM can be used to help our clients, particularly early on in the sales process, the sales cycle. Those of you on the line here, many of you probably do know Plus as the CRM experts, and particularly today we're talking about Microsoft, but we actually are experts in a few other things. From the CRM perspective, in addition to Microsoft, we have dedicated practices and teams of experts in Salesforce.com, Sugar CRM, and Inforce CRM. We also have a team of analysts who are great at looking at data with our business intelligence practice. Those folks are experts at things like SQL Server reporting services and SQL Server integration services. We have a SharePoint practice that focus on making sure that your internal document management and way of displaying information within the organization is working for you and is successful. We do infrastructure, and really just a point from an infrastructure perspective, what I wanted to bring out today is that we're talking about CRM and Office 365 working together, and this is what helps us bring in that expertise, because we do work in and with both of those products all the time, so we can help you bring them together, and that's what we're going to show in today's demo. We also do security, staffing, and training as an organization. So I don't want to take too much time on this, but that's basically what we do. And then, as everybody knows, Plus Consulting prides itself on being a strategy-first organization. So it's the strategy of how technology is going to be used to meet your needs over just being people that can click a button. So if you're like, hey, we want to have a button in CRM that does this, we will likely say, why do you want that button? And no, you actually need this instead of a button, or have you considered this other option? So we will consult on how to solve your business problems using technology. We also offer all sorts of services around that. So that's enough of the Plus commercial. Just wanted to kind of call that out for everybody on the line, what we do in addition to just working with Microsoft CRM. The agenda for today is as follows. We're going to really walk through a few scenarios where our sales team is engaged in working on a deal with an organization. So we're going to use these scenarios to highlight various technologies. So first we're going to look at how CRM can help your sales team be more intelligent, really like providing information at the right time to them to make decisions. And we're going to look at a couple technologies as we look at that intelligence. We're going to look at Outlook. We're going to look at the CRM app for Outlook, which is a new plugin that's available with Microsoft. We're going to look at, of course, CRM Online, and we're going to look at Azure for machine learning, which is a powerful tool that Microsoft is really probably one of like the future sort of topics about CRM, is how the CRM is going to actually learn what your people do, like to do, should want to do, and tell them about it. And that's really what we mean by intelligent selling. So we're going to look at Azure machine learning and Delve. So we're going to jump into that scenario. Then we'll look at team selling, where we'll look at some additional products that are available. You know, and really the thing to note is that all of these products, these technologies that you see on the right side there, are available when you have both Office 365 and CRM Online. So if you're using both of those technologies, these things are available for you, and they're available for you to use. So we'll look at things like SharePoint Online, OneNote, OneDrive for Business as well. When we look at the mobile tool, I want to focus on how, you know, that same experience that you get on the computer using all of your Office applications is available when you're on your mobile device. Really, it's across mobile devices. We'll be taking a look at it today on an iPhone. And to round things out for the hour that we have together, we're going to look at how we can do really cool analytics using the analytics tool that you already know how to use, Excel, as well as the newer Office 365 tool called Power BI, which many of you have probably heard about. If you hadn't heard about it, you'll want to. So just to introduce you to our scenario here, and as we drive into our intelligent sales demonstration, we're really going to be assuming the role of our sales representative, Veronica. And Veronica is a sales representative who's very experienced. You can see there, an experienced sales representative, executive actually. And Veronica's going to be helping Alex, who is our customer in this scenario. And Alex is a decision maker for Northwind Traders. So we're working on an opportunity for some 3D printers with Northwind Traders for our company, Contoso. So, you know, what we're going to drop into our scenario here is that Veronica has just received an email from Alex, and let's take a look at how this system is going to enable us to move forward and to provide assistance to Alex during the sales process. So here we are in our Outlook, and we've just received a message from Alex Wu. So Alex, you know, really CRM, what we're delivering to the rep is, hey rep, here's how you can be smart and intelligent, because we're going to show you information from the CRM as you get an email from somebody. So as I click on this email from Alex, I'm able to see the CRM app for Outlook. It's showing me things about Alex, like, hey, Alex is the person messaging manager for Northwind Traders. Here's his phone number. Maybe that's not in the signature. And actually, you can see in the case of Alex, it's not. That's sometimes annoying. But by pulling in CRM information here on the screen, we know all that right now. We also know that we have a past activity, the last thing we did with them, and we also know the next thing that we're going to be planning on doing, which is actually scheduled for tomorrow. So we know you know what that next activity is going to be. We can also see that Alex has called in with a problem recently. Now the cool thing about this is you know, as we read this email, we can see that Alex is really excited about 3D printers and is interested in the latest accessories that are available for 3D printers as we go through this process. So to me, this email is very important, and I want it tracked in the system. So I'm going to go ahead and click the track button, which is going to allow me to track anything. You can see accounts, contact, leads, opportunities. So I'm going to search for Northwind. And that's going to say, hey, Ben, by the way, I found the account Northwind Traders, and then I found Alex in the system, and look, there's an opportunity with Northwind Traders for printers. So you know what, I'm actually going to link this email to that opportunity, because that's where we're doing our business. So we just select that, and then boom, that email is now tracked in the solution. So that fast to be able to track it in the system to the right place, linking that email directly to the opportunity. Of course, it will be linked to Alex because he's the contact and that's who we're communicating with, but it's about that specific piece of business, so we're able to do that there. If we want to then jump into the CRM system to begin to interact with Alex and to like scope out sort of what's going on with this opportunity, we can click our little icon right here, which is like an arrow pointing out of the application. If we do that, it's going to log us directly in the CRM system and allow us to see Alex's contact record. So now looking at all the details, not just Alex, about the job title and phone number. We know everything there is to know about Alex, including, communications that are kind of going on. So we can read all the details here on this record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the opportunity that we have to do business with Alex. So here we are looking at the opportunity I have in the system to do business with Northwind printers. Okay, so what do we have and what can we see on the screen as we look in here? Well, one, we can see the value of that opportunity, which is really nothing new. That's sort of standard CRM. But let's see how we can take advantage of this interaction with Office 365. One way is through Azure Machine Learning. So Azure Machine Learning allows our CRM system to learn what makes sense and to make recommendations to us on how to move forward. So I can see that very easily in the system by scrolling down on my opportunity to my product lines area. I can see that I've added a carbon fiber 3D printer to this opportunity, and actually the system is saying, hey, Ben, there's some suggestions for you, so why don't you check them out? So let's see what suggestions CRM has for me. It's actually showing me, Ben, here's some accessories that make sense for you. So you can pick those accessories and you can add them to this opportunity. So I'm going to choose all 3 accessories. And by the way, Ben, here is a chance to cross-sell to Northwind printers for a digitizer, because we see that as a common thing when people have a 3D printer. How is it learning this? Is this some complicated thing that you had to build in the background to say, here's all these accessories that go with this product, here's these carbon fibers? No, that is not the case. Azure is learning that. It's learning it because it looks at other opportunities in the system that are for this product, and it knows what other accessories have been added to opportunities in the past. So the more you use it, the better it gets at saying, by the way, when we have an opportunity for this carbon fiber 3D printer, we really also see frequent opportunities to sell these accessories. That's where it is getting this information. It's learning as we go. So I'm going to add those to the list. Okay, I've now identified that all of those are part of this opportunity. So I've now taken advantage of, taking an email from someone, moving into the opportunity to make an update to it based on what they've kind of said in the email. Well, next thing I have is that I really some information. Right, some information about these accessories. He's interested in them. Perhaps marketing's put out a brochure for us. So I'm going to access that by going in this application to my home screen. And what I've done is, as you know, there is a tie-in between CRM and SharePoint and OneDrive for Business, right? We're going to actually look at those in the next exercise. But one of the things I have available for me is this product called Delve. So let's take a look at Delve as I talk about what it is. So Delve is a tool that basically crawls all of your documents, and it knows how popular they are. It knows when people are viewing them. It then says, hey, based on who you are, like I'm Veronica, so it says, Veronica, here's a bunch of documents that people like you want to access. Now, how does it know what people like me are? Well, it's like people that are involved in the same opportunities, people who have the same job title, and it's aggregating all the places we store documents like SharePoint and OneDrive for Business, and it's saying, here's the files that are probably for you, Veronica, going to be most interesting. This is a product called Delve, and it's really, again, highlighting the Office 365 machine learning capabilities within CRM. So if we look through these documents, we'll actually see that we have an actual document in here. Let's see what we got to look at. We have documents that are related to things that we sell. So, if we have a brochure that highlights our 3D printers, we can then just grab that brochure, take it out of the solution, and email it off to our client. So we just simply select it and then send it off to them. So perhaps it's in our product spotlight here. We can open that up. That's going to open up in a Word file for us, and then we can just send it directly off to the customer so they can read all about our product brochures through this share concept. So a powerful way that we can use to, one, be able to access files that our team has previously found of interest and exciting within the application. Okay, so we go ahead and send that brochure off. So the next scenario that we want to go through, we'll just jump back over to our scenario deck here. We've just now looked at how, we can use email to link into the CRM system very easily and see information in a timely manner, and how our CRM system is going to provide us with intelligent info that's going to allow us to better sell our customers and then also to access documents that the team has found useful in the past. Let's move on and let's talk about how our CRM system can be used as a tool to allow us to sell better as a team. Okay, so I'm Veronica, I'm in the system again, and really I want to work with my sales team and see how we're able to collaborate together working with our opportunities. So let's see what other team members have to say about my op. So we're back in the solution here. Right here, and we're going to just jump real quick back into our opportunity. So we're looking at our Northwind printers. We're saying to ourselves, how can we interact with our team using CRM and using collaboration tools? Well, one tool that's very popular for keeping track of notes is a tool called OneNote. Now, sometimes when I go into OneNote, people say, hey, Ben, why do you have both OneNote and Notes in the system? Like, why wouldn't you just use Notes? Well, we know that we can go into CRM and we can put notes in here that are just plain text. But OneNote allows me to put in pictures, to circle things that I'm working on, to really get in there and provide detailed notes. So what we're going to do is use OneNote to track what's been going on with Northwind traders in the solution. So we'll go over to OneNote, and we'll go ahead and access our OneNote notebook that we have to do business with Northwind traders. That's going to open up OneNote Online. This OneNote notebook is stored in SharePoint. And we can see here, things, action items that have come out of a recent meeting that we had with our client. So we had a meeting with the client, we had some participants in there, and we had some action items that were supposed to come out of that. Following this meeting, we uploaded a picture in here that the client gave us of some things they want to make changes to within our product. Following that meeting, we had an internal team meeting, and we discussed how to best handle this information. So our team meeting had, again, certain attendees, and there's certain things that need to be completed. We can then come in and identify as those items complete, so everybody has the ability to know sort of what's going on within this opportunity. And we can see that we've updated our notes a little bit here to identify that, here's what we want to kind of do. We want to change this, we want to make a change there and do that third, and those are itemed out in our action items list. So this OneNote is available for anyone who has access to this opportunity to kind of see and to be able to collaborate on what's going on. Remember, OneNote can also be saved on your local machine, so you can access this by just going to the OneNote application or on your phone by going to your OneNote application, and we'll take a look at that as we go through a little bit. Now, that's one way that we can all interface and interact with this record using OneNote. In addition to that, we have a core team. Let's take a look at who that core team is. On my record, I can see that I'm working with a few people. Alan is our industry expert, and Ali is our technical sales, and Krista is our, our territory manager. So we can see certain people that we work on this opportunity with. Well, something called Office 365 Groups gives us a shared workspace to interact and work with this account. Okay, so let's see what the group is doing, what we're talking about related to this opportunity today. So I'm going to navigate under Northwind Printers to my Office 365 group, which is going to open up on my screen for me momentarily. And really what we're going to see here is a collaboration portal for working with Northwind Printers. So what do we have with our Office 365 group? Well, one, we have a shared calendar that the entire group can see so that everyone who sells with this account knows what's going on. We have a conversation that's kind of going on within this organization. We can see that Veronica has posted a question, to know sort of how and sort of what's going on with Northwind traders. We can see that there's actually a reply in here. So Veronica posed a question about 3D printers being food safe, and then Alan was able to reply with a comment about 3D printer material and their ability for food safe interaction. We have documents in here. See, these are documents that the team is working on. We have 3D printer product pitch and our sales proposals in here as well. And then we have members of that. Now the cool thing about this is this interacts with Outlook. So if I pose a question to the group right here, hey, can you review So I'm asking the group if they can review the proposal that's in here. I'm going to send that out. So as I send that out, my team members who are in their email are actually going to get an email about this interaction. So we'll just jump back real quick to our inbox. And it's going to come into our email here that we have that interaction. So we'll go into our group, we can see we have one new communication, and Veronica has asked us to review that proposal. So as Alan now come in and reply, and I say, you know, I have, looks good to me. Okay, so I say that, and I update that information, looks good to me. Veronica, back in the email, is going to get an inbound message right there, Alan, saying, hey, you know, it looks good to me. So if I come under my groups, I can see those updates right here in my Outlook. So all of those interactions kind of flow right into the system and allow me to view them as I interact with this record. So that's all well and good for when I want to interact and communicate with my sales team. I can put messages out to the team can reply, and it ties back into my Outlook, and I can see those messages all in one place. Of course, that's all also updated to the CRM. But let's say I ask a question, like perhaps this food safe question about 3D printers, and nobody in my group knows. So nobody who's part of the Northwind Printers opportunity has a clue. Well, that's when I can turn to Yammer. Yammer is a tool that allows me to pose questions to a larger audience. It could be people that work on this opportunity, but it could be people that are just part of our company as a whole. Let's say I want to pose that same question to the entire organization. What can I do? How can I do that? Well, back here on my opportunity, I can click back over to my opportunity, and I can go to my Yammer feed, and now I can pose the question: is 3D printing food safe? Okay, and then I can choose which audience I want to share that with, not just my opportunity, but perhaps everybody in the entire company. So I post that out to the entire company, post that, and that Yammer message goes out through Yammer, another tool with Office 365 that the company uses to collaborate and talk. Their replies will also be tracked back in here, linked to this particular record. So real easy to go in the system and communicate with people, whether it's people on the sales team or the company at large, to get answers to questions as we work through CRM. So another thing that happens as we collaborate and work together is that we have files. Now these files need to be shared. They need to be shared with people, but the audience for certain files is different at certain times. So the integration between CRM, SharePoint, and OneDrive for Business allows us to do that. So if we would like to see all files that are available for me as Veronica to see as it relates to this opportunity, I can navigate under Northwind Traders to my Documents section. Here, I'm able to see all files that are associated with Northwind Traders that I can see whether they're in OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, or my Office 365 group. We were looking at this sales proposal file before. That's from the Office 365 group, and it pulls into here. You can see that right here. That's where it's from. But if you look at your document locations, the other cool thing is that you can pull files in from OneDrive. Why is this valuable? Well, I might have this sales agreement as Veronica, the sales manager, and I may put that in my OneDrive because maybe I don't want the entire team to have access to that. I only want certain people to have access to that. So by saving the file in OneDrive, I can control outside of CRM who has access to that particular file. So let's say I'd like to share this file with somebody. I can go ahead and select that, and then I can choose to open that document location right here, which is going to take me right into my OneDrive account, right? And I can see that file. I can then select it, and I can choose to share it with certain people in the group. Who has access to this? Well, I can click shared with and see that right now only I can see this. So my other team members who view the opportunity will not see this sales agreement, only I will. But I need some of them to see it. Let's say I want Alan to have access to this. So I can find Alan and I can click share. Now Alan, when he logs into CRM, will see that file. Of course, he'll also get an email that says, hey Alan, this sales agreement has just been shared with you. Okay, so the neat thing about this is that you can control access to those documents through SharePoint access, through access to that Office 365 group, or through your solution, your OneDrive for Business solution. Okay, so a lot of powerful ways that you can share documents using the tie-in between Office 365 and OneDrive for Business. All right, so the next scenario that we'd like to walk through on this presentation is how mobility works within the application. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at our opportunity from a mobile interface. So to do that, I'm going to pull my phone up on the screen here. Give me a second to do that. Okay, so my phone is now up on the screen and I'm logged into my mobile application. So in my scenario, what I'd like to do is I would like to review that sales agreement that, you know, I've just shared with Alan, and Alan has reviewed for me. So Alan's done that. He's reviewed that proposal, that sales agreement. I'm going to go ahead and access that. So I could search in the application for Northwind printers, but I've actually pinned it to my home screen because it's one of my favorite things to see, one of my favorite places to go. So I'm going to go ahead into Northwind printers. And that pulls up that record for me. This is allowing me to see that opportunity. So Alex, that's the main contact. You know, I can see it's linked to Northwind Traders, and you know, if I look down here, I can actually see there's documents associated with this. So if I click Documents, I have access to all those documents that are saved on OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, wherever. I'm able to see them all here. So let's say I want to review that proposal, right? That proposal, we can see it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that proposal. I'm about to walk into the client and I want to review it. It opens it up on my computer for me in my Word app, and I can read that entire proposal right here. So the value that you're seeing there is that we're tying in the fact that you have a Word app through Office 365 that you can put on your mobile phone, and it allows you to interact with the records, to read them, to see them, to make changes to them as you are in the as you're in your CRM solution. Now, in addition to that, I'll just jump back out here to my account. I now go on site and I have my meeting with Alex, and you know, Alex is showing me a printing, a drawing that he's done, and I want to get that loaded into the system. So I'm going to come over here to my OneNote notebook, and I'm going to open that up. So I'm going to open up my OneNote notebook, the same one that I've been working with all along. It has my client meeting and my team meeting present. I can see that right here. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of what Alex is showing me over here with his 3D printer. So I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm going to go say photo. And then, you know, I could take the picture, but, you know, I don't actually have a 3D printer with me. So I'm going to pull one from my library, right? So I took it before I left the building. And I can go ahead in there and see my 3D printer right here. And then I can say done, and that's going to take that picture and load it into my you know, into my OneNote notebook for me. I can now put notes in here, so like we need to do this, okay, something like that, right? We add a note, it's done, it's saved. I've accessed that OneNote notebook while on the road. I've added things to the notebook. I've taken a picture while I'm on site at the client, and all that's saved and tied back to that record in the CRM system. So again, a powerful tie-in that you have back to your application. So we'll jump back over to our opportunity, and you know, now that I've completed that interaction, I've just left the office at Northwind Traders, and what I want to do is log that into the system. I want to complete that activity. There's certain things that I need to do. So the Office, the app here, the CRM mobile app, allows us to do that in a way that's new and exciting, right? Instead of having to go find the activity, hit update, put in my information. I can use my task-based interactions to allow me to do multiple things at one time. So let's see how that works. If I click on this little icon down here, this little icon right here, it's going to allow me to see certain tasks that I can perform regularly. What I've done is I've just completed a meeting. So I'm going to hit after a meeting. And that's going to allow me to say, okay, look up the appointment that you just had. And, you know, I know that I just had my meeting here with Northwind Traders. So I can find that in the system right here. And it's then going to ask me to walk through filling in my information. So the first thing is to give an update to sort of what's going on with this record. So I'll come into my notes, into my description, I'll click on my microphone and speak notes into my phone about the meeting that we just had, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're done with that. We say done, next, and the next thing I need to do is go ahead and review my notes from that meeting, right? So I'm going to update the regarding opportunity at this point. I can say, oh, you know what? Now that I've done that meeting, I know that my close date is actually going to be moving out a little bit. It's actually going to be in July now, so I can save that. So it's walking me through the process of now that I've put my meeting, my notes in there, I'm now updating my opportunity, because that's another thing you do after you leave a meeting, right? Showing me the opportunity. I now say done, and that task-based interaction has walked me through both closing out my meeting and updating my opportunity in one smooth process, right? So you're going to see a lot more of that coming with Microsoft in the future, a lot more of that task-based interaction that's going to try to drive it through like a wizard process, as opposed to people saying, what do I have to do? Oh, I got to go find that meeting and update it. And then what do I have to do? Oh, no, I have to go to the opportunity and say that I have a new date. No, we know that when you close out a meeting, those are the steps you need to follow. So let's make that one smooth transition, one smooth process. So another thing that we see, so Office 365 and CRM working together, it's CRM access on your mobile device as well as the ability to tie back to those Office applications that you know and use on a regular basis that you have access to be able to update records, to add information, and to review things like documents that are stored on the solution. So that's looking at how we can use the mobile device to interact with our record. Okay, so moving on, what we're going to look at next, we have another scenario. Let me just get my phone off the screen here. Okay, so let's take a look next at you know, how we can use our CRM system to analyze information, to get real-time analysis. So, you know, I'm reviewing my week as Veronica. Perhaps I'm responsible for a team of people, and I want to see kind of what's going on within CRM. So I'm going to show you two ways of doing that. One is that we have an integration with Excel. So we can use Excel Online to analyze opportunities that are in our pipeline. And then we're going to leave CRM and use a tool called Power BI to look at how we can, well, it's actually pretty cool, just ask questions and receive answers. Who doesn't want to do that from a management perspective, right? So let's get out of here and let's jump into our CRM solution. And I'm actually going to navigate, to opportunities in the section. So I navigate to opportunities, and just for the sake, let's say we don't want to look at my opportunities, we want to look at all of them. So all sort of open opportunities or opportunities that are going on this year, so that we can get a full perspective of kind of what's going on in the environment. So as I come to the screen, you know, I have that data. I have a filter right here that allows me to see specific opportunities. And then I can access my Excel template. Oops. And I can save in here reports that will run based on whatever view I select. So I'm looking at all opportunities right now. So I'm going to run my pipeline management report for all opportunities. So let's go ahead and open that up in Excel Online. It's saying, hey, you're about to analyze your data using Excel Online. You can say, yes, I want to see that, and you know, don't show me this again, and that'll go away. What that's going to do is it's going to show me a lot of metrics, right? So these are metrics that you build using Excel, and then you save them into the CRM system. So we're looking at things like, what's our pipeline look like, and why are we losing deals? Why are we winning deals? What's our win-loss percentage by quarter? How many opportunities do we create by month? And then we have statistics down below, the individual opportunities making up this information. So we have a little sparkle line going on here, so we can see the largest opportunities are represented with graphs. All of this is built using Excel. So your users already know how to build things in Excel. Oftentimes you have a couple gurus within an organization who are like, I'm a pivot table master and I can build all kinds of cool things from a data perspective in Excel. And before in CRM we would always say, well, what you would do is you would export that data out to Excel and then you'd build your pivot table or your analysis to be able to see things. Not anymore. They're tied together. So I run this analytics tool and I build this dashboard, and it automatically snaps to show me whatever view I was on in CRM. If I'm ready to move back to my system, I can go right here, return to CRM, and say OK. The other cool thing is if I change the scope, right, so instead of looking at all opportunities, I just look at, my opportunities or my open opportunities. Now I do the same thing. I go to my Excel template, right here, and I say that I want to run that same report, and it runs that report, but now it does it just for my opportunities. So it's not looking at all of them anymore, it's just looking at mine. So it's kind of cool how the two things tie in together. You build your analytics in your Excel file, and you can then go into CRM to get the filter, the data that goes in to build that Excel. And all this is saved right here, okay? So another one that's less, less exciting, but I still think important to mention, is another way that you can update data. So we all know that reps get their opportunities. So I have my opportunities in the pipeline, and you can see that some of mine are out of date. Like this was supposed to close on the 2nd of February, or the 10th of February in 16. So maybe I'm out of date a little bit. So I want to update these, but boy, do I have to go into each one to update them? No. So I can come over to my Export to Excel option and open this up in Excel Online. When I do that, it turns that view that I was just looking at into an Excel file. I can then make updates to this, like maybe I want to push that out to, July, okay? So I make that change in here, and then I can click Save Changes. So I can, update all of these opportunities at one time. Click Save Changes to CRM, and then it's going to actually queue that as a file import. You don't really have to worry too much about that, but that's kind of what it calls it. But it will then update through all those records that you have in that file. So another time that you're seeing that's huge with having Office 365 and having CRM, it's that ability to easily go in and make updates to that information on the fly. Okay? So that's very, very popular. So let's say we want to do some analytics beyond that. Like we want to see some really cool dashboards. We want to see some really cool graphical representation of information. Well, that's where Power BI comes in. Power BI is a tool that's available for Office 365. It is available for you to be able to, access, to analyze information. It actually goes beyond CRM. It lets you analyze information really stored in any data source, but it's natively tied into CRM, and there's even some dashboards that sort of come out of the box for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to click on our waffle here, which is going to allow us to navigate out of our CRM system, and we're going to go into Power BI. We're just going to jump in there real quick. So my Power BI is loading on my screen, and I'll have some CRM dashboards to see in just a moment. Right. So what I'm looking at when I log into the system is my sales revenue. Okay. So this is my sales manager dashboard, and I can see things like And that's going to then change all of the data on the form to show me just information in that section. So I clicked on North America, so it's showing me now that North America has so much run one revenue each month and just the specifics that I drill down into North America. So all of this is clickable and drill downable to see information. But the cool thing is that I can do more than that. So if I jump back to my dashboard, I can just put in questions that I have here, and it will actually find answers for me. So let's say I want to see one revenue. So I just type in one revenue, and it's showing me my one revenue right now on the screen. I got my one revenue. And then I'm going to say, I want to see my one revenue by industry. So now it's going to show me my one revenue by industry, so I can see, you know, financial estimates, total. So I'm just typing in here what I want to see, and it goes and finds it for me. One revenue by industry, and then I say, you know what, by the way, in addition to seeing my one revenue by industry, you know, I'd actually like to see that in a pie chart, so I can type pie in here. And then it's going to turn that one revenue by industry into a pie chart. So the Power BI a few things to mention. I just want to kind of show you, just jumping out here. There's a couple dashboards that are available for you that are what we call templates. So by just connecting your CRM instance to Power BI, you get a Sales Manager dashboard, and you get a Services Manager dashboard for any of you that are using Service in your organization. So those two dashboards come out to play. But you can also go into your data sets, and you can also come in here and build dashboards based on those data sets that are there. So it's not a complicated process to create dashboards in this application. So you just choose, hey, I want to add concepts from data from this particular data set. You can come over here and see everything. You can, you know, add a chart that looks at accounts, you know, by, you know, whatever you want, by created on. Okay, and then it'll start charting that information very quickly for you. Okay, so you know, really easy to just point and click, and it starts creating data, contents, and elements on there for you. So I like this tool as a powerful tool because it gives you a lot of what you'd build with the assistance of IT. You know, getting IT involved to build you some really cool graphics and way of analyzing data, but it's easy enough for someone who gets trained and a power user to build these visualizations. And then on top of that, it allows you to just ask questions of the data and get answers back. So Power BI is a really powerful tool that you can use with the CRM system that's going to allow you to interact with your data, interact with your records to get information. Okay. So just kind of coming back here, we've seen a few ways in this demonstration of how Office 365 and the CRM system work together. We've looked at a way that it's going to alert you to things so that you know what to look at from an intelligent sales perspective using Azure Machine Learning, using your Outlook app, CRM app, and using Delve. We've looked at how you can collaborate with Office 365 groups, Yammer, and OneDrive for Business, and we've looked at how your mobile device has that same experience for you that you have on your computer when you're on your mobile. And we've also looked at how we can use an analytics built into the CRM using tools that we already know how to use like Excel and using Power BI. So I just want to point out a few things to everyone. One is that you should stay tuned for future events from Plus. If you like this webinar and you're looking for more information, you know, for if you're in Pittsburgh, at the end of the month, we have the next generation of CRM Executive Roundtable. In that, we're going to have some experts talking about CRM and about trends in CRM. You can come out and sit in on that and learn all about, you know, what's coming down the road. You're going to see a lot of people talking about things like machine learning and things like that in that session. Also this fall, be prepared to attend. We would be happy to have you. Plus is going to have its first ever annual, Plus Consulting multi-practice full-day workshop. In that workshop, it's going to be, an event where we're going to highlight the various solutions that we work with and in the various industries that we work in, like CRM and portals and infrastructure, and we're going to have all sorts of learning sessions for people to attend to soak in that information. The other thing to point out, we really just tried to get into this webinar to give you a look at things and then let you guys kind of just get a little taste for how CRM and Office 365 can work together. But if you want a deeper dive or you want to get into more information about this or aspects of this webinar, please let us know. We'd be happy to have you more of a one-on-one session where we can get into details and maybe talk about some of the specific things you're trying to do with Office 365 and CRM. Following this email, a few things. One, we will give this presentation to you. So we've recorded this webinar. We will make it available through our YouTube channel, so it'll be available for you to download and watch again if you missed something. We'll also provide this PowerPoint out to everyone, and we're going to have a brief survey that's going to ask you to give us your opinion of the event and of the content that we provided to see if it was helpful for you. What I want to do is leave you with the contact information for Plus Consulting. Of course, we have a website, a phone number, and an email address, so all the normal ways of communicating are available to you. If there's anything we can do to help you with your CRM or, as we said, other IT strategy needs, we'd be happy to help. So with that, I want to thank you for coming in today and for giving me your time. We appreciate it, and thanks everyone, and have a good day.